Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. This week, I am super stoked. I have Mark from Nashville, Tennessee. So a new beginning for the podcast. My network has grown so much over the last 6 months, and they do say that your net worth is your network. Now, I'm a firm believer in that, and this is why I've kind of branched out and started hanging around with these worldwide celebrities and successful business owners, and it's me and Mark are in the same network, and it's so empowering to get inspired what they're doing, and pick up tips and have conversations like this. So Mark, firstly, Mark is a 7-figure business owner, massive on mindset and marketing. He niches in the fitness space, but there's so many things we're going to talk about today which can help any business of any sort scale and get to where you want to be. So Mark, how are you, my friend?
Brian, I am so excited to be on this. I love being on these things and just networking with like-minded people who are ready to grow. So I'm ready to jam it out here. This is going to be really fun.
Cool. So I guess let's start at the beginning. It's always a good place to start. Where did you start? What were your struggles? How did you push through them? Let's just have a bit of background on that, and we can kind of go from there, I think.
Yeah, I'm here in the States, and did the traditional go to college route. I guess you guys call it university, and kind of had to figure it out as my parents are from the Philippines, and so I'm a first generation. And so I kind of had to figure it out on my own on my way to, entrepreneurship and running my own business. My parents were not like that. They've always kind of been against that. And same with my brother and sister. They haven't figured out how to create freedom and impact and wealth for themselves. And so along the way, it was just like trying to fight tooth and nail on what the niche should be. What should I be doing? Did some digital marketing as a freelancer and for an agency for quite a while, and worked in like copywriting. I did all kinds of branding, messaging, all those kinds of things, big campaigns to make sure all the branding was on point. And then through a hobby, I just kind of entered into the fitness space. And then lo and behold, my marketing and fitness kind of became one thing, and opened up a gym here in Nashville, Tennessee, and went with that for like 4 or 5 years. And over time, just kind of got burnt out with the whole managing of the gym. And instead of creating more, there's so much overhead. There's the rent, there's like the employees and everything. So I transitioned to more online fitness. And that's where I kind of learned how to really make some really big profits through that. And so now I've just taken my system and have given it to other fitness coaches who need help, especially with the marketing and sales. I firmly believe that my specialty is really working with people who generally know how to coach. I'm not going to teach them how to coach their clients. I'm just going to teach them how to generate more clients. And that's what it's all about right here. That's usually the struggle with people in our space right now.
Yeah. I mean, money follows attention, right? So
100%.
You get some attention, and typically the money tends to follow. And what were your mindset struggles at the beginning? Obviously, did you hit some speed bumps along the way and have to push through? And
100%, man. It really was a little bit of the, imposter syndrome. I think we all we know a lot of things and we have a lot of knowledge in our head, but once we decide to really apply it to give it to others, we're like, wait a minute, do I really know everything? You start to question yourself. You start to wonder if you actually are an expert in this space, and you just have to put your foot down and believe. After we had sold our gym, we thought about, I had been doing some more agency work, meaning like I was making videos for clients all locally, and found that I was very limited in the amount I could make. I had packages where I would make the videos, write the copy for them, and then run their Facebook ads. Big, long package, took a lot of work, right? Mm. And so it was like a good $10,000 package, but I found that I was able to do like 2 or 3 maybe in a month. So that really limited me to $20,000 or $30,000 in a month. And so I had to figure out a way to really kind of scale this. And it just made a lot of sense to really just extract the knowledge, jump into the coaching space, help empower these entrepreneurs, have them be in charge of their own business, give them marketing and skills knowledge. And then it really helped to just give me a good launch. We transitioned from that agency consulting one-on-one space to the one-to-many. And now we're coaching a dozen clients, and we're able to handle them through a big process. And it's really just empowering them to do a lot more. And we had a really good launch in December. So really excited about this. And there were a lot of hurdles, but at the same time, it's really about just powering through and just kind of finding some people around you to kind of guide you in the right direction. That's what really helped me a lot.
Yeah. I'm a big believer on team and surrounding yourself with good people. And I think as entrepreneurs, we obviously start by ourselves. It's all our own ideas, and we kind of go from there. And then we have to make that decision of giving up a bit of control. And I think that's always a big issue for most. They're like, but I need to do it all. I'm the best at doing it all. And did you have that as well? Did you struggle with the releasing some of the control?
Oh, 100%. I was a big the plan's always up here, and which is not a good place. You never should keep everything in your brain. You should always be documenting. And this is one of the things that our network has kind of given me is the ability to create standard operating procedures to gain trust in your employees. And when I was running the gym here in town, it was very much kind of the same. I really didn't empower them to learn more. And those are some of the mistakes that I'm hell-bent on fixing this time around and whenever I have this new business. And so I think a lot of your past mistakes as well will help you to especially if you can identify them to not be that person anymore. So I know I'm just learning from my mistakes here. And I just hired a VA last week. And so it's off to a really good start. And I think that, having a team is just the first step to scaling the business, which is great.
Yeah. And we come on to, standard operating procedures. So for the listeners who might not fully understand that, it is literally documenting everything you do in your business. So I tend to do it in a way so I use a Google Doc, and then I'll shoot a Loom video, and then I will kind of go, step one is X, and here's a video of how to do it. And then you do this, and then there's a video of how to do it. The idea of this is, when you scale your business and when you employ more people, rather than you sitting down for 2 days in your diary saying, I'm going to train this person, it is there's the SOP. And if you ever need to refer back to it, it's also there as well. And it's something that I think I wish I'd done from day one. Your business will be so much better and so much more efficient and probably further ahead had you done it. But I guess you don't know what you don't know at the time, and you kind of just figure it out the best way possible. But
that's exactly right.
I'm currently setting up some new properties in Dubai at the minute, and the team that I'm working with over there, I'm constantly I need you to be putting in a document how we do this. I need you to be putting in a document. And they're like, yeah, I'll get round to that. And I'm like, no, this is so important, because if we want to go from 2 to we want to do 25 properties there this year, we're going to move quick here, and we're going to need other people around us, and we're going to need to, not be bogged down with all this admin stuff. So it's really important that you get these operational efficiencies.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. And the biggest thing for me is creating, I think if you give your employees the why behind it, what is this end goal? How do we know when this is done? It's more than just the step-by-step. And that's what's really helped me be able to explain it even more. And going back to just creating Loom videos, I thought I could just kind of get by with a few Loom videos and use the free account. But now I've upgraded to the big Loom account where I'm oh, there's just so many of these. And
it's only I'm the same with Zapier and all these. There's so many powerful online systems that can automate your business without having to employ people, really. Zapier saves, I don't know, 50, 60 hours a week in my business.
Oh, easily. Yeah.
Which is that's a job role for someone. So it might cost me $85 or whatever it is, whatever account I'm on right now, but that's better than a $2,000 in your terms, £1,500 a month salary in the UK,
100%. So,
but then there are positions within a business that can't be automated with the software.
That's
And
exactly
that's when
right.
you need these SOPs and your staff brought in. And, we use Asana for task management. I use Slack as a communication channel. I hate email. Email. I just my email inbox now is so small on a daily basis because I've just I just don't use it. I check into it once, maybe twice a day. And that's it. So many people get sucked into email and they spend hours in there replying backwards and forwards and it just takes your day up. And before you know it, it's there's another day gone that I've done nothing apart from be in my inbox.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like my email box is just a bunch of receipts right now at this point. And I think that email has become a little bit more too impersonal. I think there was a lot of back and forth with with big businesses, especially just sending emails back and forth. And like over time, it just kind of the connection really starts to get really low on that.
It was like sending an official letter, wasn't it, at the start? Like
exactly, right.
And then now it's like just all sorts of in there that just takes.
Yeah.
The problem with email is, and I kind of have this in my morning secrets program is, don't check into your email until like probably 11 a.m. or even later, because let's say, for example, if you start an email at 6 a.m. when you first get up, well, then you're going to get another reply at 20 past 6. You're going to then go into this, and you're going to get this conversation all day. Whereas if you just start the email chain at like 11, 12 o'clock, you've only got a few hours of conversation. So for starters, it reduces there. But what happens with your inbox as well is you go in and then you see a catchy little headline, a little subject, and you're like, oh, what's that? And then all of a sudden, it's like your notifications on Facebook. You go on, and then all of a sudden, you're like 2 hours has gone by, and you're like, I've done nothing. But,
it is a huge distraction for me, and I try to like block myself, and that's one of the things that I outsource right away. It's just like, hey, someone, can you manage my email box and let me know if there's anything really important, because otherwise, then I don't really need to be tied into that. Messenger, texting, there's a lot of different ways to really connect with your current customer right now. And I think, the more personal touch, I think people got so tired of like the impersonal touch that they are now looking to, like, even when they see Facebook ads, they want to talk to a person. People are ready to buy, but they don't want to be sold. You know what I mean? So they really want to have that connection with somebody. Same thing in like the real estate market. We have a phenomenal property person here in the States because we have such a good connection. Like if I were to buy any house from one person, it would be the same person every time because it's a relationship. Is she the best? I don't know, but she is in my mind, and so it's really about the connection that you have and the personality, so if you think that you're hiding behind, this wall of like corporate, then there's going to be some resistance there with the end user. So it's really about someone getting to know, like, and trust you. And there's no better way to generate clients than to get someone to know, like, and trust you.
Yeah, it's funny we talk about this because I noticed that my business Facebook page just wasn't getting anywhere near the attention in my profile. Okay? I changed my business logo. I kept the logo and I just got me photoshopped on the front of the logo as a person. And all of a sudden the engagement went up because people then can see behind the logo and they can see the person. And I think 20 years ago, it was about the corporate image and the logo and the smart suits and all that sort of stuff. Now it's like, well, it's the hoodies and the person and just the sort of, who am I dealing with, and let's that's more important than the corporate image and that's why, in nowadays, anybody will buy anything from someone as long as they believe in the person, right? All you got to do is think of how many sponsored ads you've been hooked into, and then you're in their world for the next however long, and then you're like, Jesus, I feel like I've known this guy forever, and I need to do something with him, and that's what good marketing is about, is connecting with your audience, and I think that's what so many people miss still when they're starting their businesses up. They try these formal ads. There's no personalization in it. They talk too much about like the great offer rather than the sort of emotional connection.
Exactly. Right.
I think when you can switch that, whatever space you're in, and start talking about solving problems, then your
Right.
marketing gets much better results.
Yeah, and 100%. Like you said it, man, it's solving problems. And to take that a step further, solving problems on where they're at right now. Like anybody could be, like if, for instance, losing weight. Let's say someone is losing weight. And this is all about messaging, right? If someone needed to lose 25 pounds, well, what's their experience? Have they tried gyms? Have they tried this? Have they tried that? If so, then the message needs to be like, hey, I know you've tried this, this, and this. Here's the new solution, right? Instead of like, hey, let's just lose 25 pounds, right? That's very general, speaking to everybody. Instead, you're now allaying to their fears of saying, hey, like, I know like these things have not worked in the past, but now they're like, oh yeah, that's me. I've tried a lot of things in the past and they haven't worked. So now I need to find something different, right? I've tried keto, I've tried eating different. And so that's where messaging comes down to, is you really, really have to enter the mind of someone you really want to work with, and not just like handshakes. I'm talking like big hugs. Like you really have to get in with them. You have to basically be their roommate for a whole week and just understand where they're at in life. And so I think that's really important.
Yeah, great advice. So what would be, for the audience, what would be your top tips on how you would find that specific information to talk to that client through your messaging?
Oh, there's some good ones. So if go to some of the books that you like to read, and or that your audience would read. So think about some of the books they would read, right? Then once you identify, who you want to work with, let's say it's property, or people who want to buy houses, where do they want to buy houses, right? What size house do they want? Okay. Then you can kind of go into a little bit of like the psychographics. What books would they read? One tactic I've used is if you go to like Amazon or whatever book publishing place, go to the review section and then go to the 3-star reviews of that book. The 5 stars are all going to be great. The 1 stars are going to be bunch of BS, but the 3 stars are going to be like, it's good, but I wish it had this, right? And so that will be like the true fear or true hurdle that they really want to jump over. So that's a really good one. I think going into Facebook groups is really good. Going into like one of the industries that I work in the fitness industry. And so one of the niches that one of my clients works with is women in their 40s, right? That are stay-at-home moms. There's not really many like stay-at-home fitness groups for moms, right? So I had them go into skincare selling groups, right? Because they are typically like, they sell, like they're part of the MLMs, and like, that's totally cool, but that's typically where they live. And that they're ready for opportunity. That they're just stay-at-home moms. That what their goals and objectives are. So it's almost like, what are the other things that they do besides what you want them to do? So it's really kind of going on the outside of that, which is great.
And do you go into I know what I do, but do you go into those groups and ask questions, or do you just use the little search bar and go searching for a few keywords?
I like to just try to establish myself as an authority there. And really it's maybe like one post every like 2 weeks, maybe, but in the comments, that's where I really like to just be helpful, and that usually means just like posting a video of myself answering their questions, really trying to get them. You can go to the next level, like a question, typing it out, typing the answer is great. But, I think the personal touch is a good video, even if you're just on a walk or, running some errands. I think people really appreciate that nice touch and really want to hear it from the source. Yeah,
I think everything's definitely going more towards video. I think the picture and the text word still has its place, but you just got to look at how much credibility Facebook algorithms give live videos. They see the spot. How big YouTube's growing. I mean, you don't go to Google anymore to search. It's like YouTube, how to. It's everything. It's just YouTube, isn't it?
Exactly.
It's crazy how the world is going. Do you have a favorite platform out of the world?
I'm bigger on Facebook right now. That just happens to be the most flexible. They have the ability for groups. I know you can do like group chats and all that in Instagram, but the ability to have groups on Facebook is big to really nurture your audience, especially when we talked about that email is losing its luster. It's definitely not dead, by any means, but I would say that, in order to nurture your audience, really warm them up, give them really good content. Facebook groups are right now the far and away the best platform to really nurture your audience, get them really warm, and turn them from lukewarm to hot clients. And that's where you really want to deliver a lot of the information.
Yeah. I think also one thing that people probably don't, if you're just getting into marketing or you're just getting into business, you've got to put so much value content out there before you get a bite, Right. So I think gone are the days of paid ads, may be slightly different, but even with paid ads, sometimes they come into your funnels and they don't necessarily take action. As the retargeting that gets them back in. But
right.
Gone are the days of, newspaper adverts, boom, pick the phone up, right, okay, and you've got a lead from your advertising spend. Now It is, for me anyway, I've experienced the nurture phase could be 6 months, 9 months. We even had someone who I contacted a year and a half ago the other month, just before Christmas, reach out from one of my automated emails being like, hey, I've got a couple of properties now ready for you, like a year and a half down the line from when we first met.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's definitely getting longer. It might just be my space. I don't know. How do you feel the same or?
Yeah, I think that if I were to give someone some advice today, it would be start today and really just attack or put out content on your core values. Even if you don't know what your product could be, where you're putting out your core values, what you believe in, what you do day to day, I think that is a great way to build a lot of trust and a lot of and connection with potential clients, right? Before I had jumped into the online fitness space with coaching my coaches, I hadn't really figured out what that offer was going to be yet, but I had already been putting out a lot of content on how I can help, what my goals were, what my core values were, spending time with family. And so once they connected with that, they're like, okay, let's keep this guy. I like what he's doing. I like what he's doing. And then once I drop the offer, they're like, oh yeah, so I already like him. I already know who and like him. Now I just need to see a little bit more. I just need one more step for him instead of having to go from cold all the way to sold. For instance, like a paid ad, right? Like if you just ask someone to buy right off the bat, that's easy in the product space. But when you're selling a service, man, it really is like a relationship, and really need to dig in a little bit more. There is that huge factor. Yep, exactly.
And I think if we bring the mindset into that, don't stop when you're not getting results from your marketing, because it is being effective. It's just you're not getting that instant gratification that we used to have, and then. If I look now, the way whatever we do, whether it's, the landlords are working with or whatever, obviously I'm quite organized where we're tagging everything in active campaign. So if they ever, download anything, they're tagged. By the time they've actually committed with us, they've got quite a lot of tags under their profile. Shows they've been around a lot of your stuff, and they've touched base with you, and they're following you in your groups. And it's really important not to get deflated and lose motivation because you're not getting results from your marketing efforts, because you will be getting results, you just don't know it, and they will pay off if you keep consistent with it.
Consistency, you said it, man. Consistency is the biggest thing, and it's hard to do that when you feel like you're not getting any traction. But it's not about one post. One post could definitely help somebody, and it really is it's really about trying to get to the 100th post. How do you get so far into that when people arrive at your profile, they're like, oh, this dude is committed. This guy knows what he's talking about. This guy has been doing this for a long time. It's a big turnoff when you go to someone's profile or business page and there's nothing there. It's just like, oh, okay, well, I'm not sure if they can help. So, consistency is so key. So key.
Cool. So just to wrap it up, what are your top business tips? Give me a few here. Top tips.
Oh man. Frameworks are going to be a lot of things. Let's go with number one. Number one is having a really, really good framework for pretty much everything. So we have a framework for content where we're able to just consistently put out more content. When you have what you should be posting every single day already ready and to put out more content, that is what's going to save you. I think that A lot of people try to rely on what's going to happen, or like they're like start to think of something the day of. And that can get you so far, but it's going to burn you out really fast. I think that content creation has to do a lot with equal amounts of preparation and inspiration, right? So you have to make sure that you're prepared and inspired at the same time. So having a preparation for the week, but if something is really inspiring, don't be afraid to like put that right on the next day and then slide the other content down the line. So I think that would be really good. Personalization is number 2, is making sure that you're really talking one-to-one with somebody. This is so important. Being able to help them, even if it's through chat. That's the way we start to book our calls, take clients on, is, we just enter in chat, see if we can help them, find out where they are, find out where they want to be and some of the hurdles that they're having in their business, so that you can kind of sort of diagnose and have some thoughts and come up with a really good game plan. And then 3, just be willing to just help. Like I've come at it a few times from like hey, I just want to make a buck. I just want to get the sale. I have to beat my numbers from last month, blah, blah, blah. But it really does come down to, what is your message behind what you're saying? If you're always saying, hey, when do you want to sign up? People can really kind of smell that. And it really comes down to like, hey, how are you doing? Where can I help? Like don't be afraid to really dig in and do some, pro bono advice here and there for a little while, just so that you start to build a really good trust relationship and down the line. And that's a really hard thing for new entrepreneurs to understand, because they want the instant gratification, and they see people doing $100 million or they see people doing $1 million launch or this month, that you're like, well, that didn't happen just because I just pushed a button. That took a lot of time. That took a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And so, trust the process, go with it. The first few months are always very difficult, and, just keep on pushing, be consistent, and be who you are.
Awesome advice. Mark, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I thank you once again. I'm not even sure what time it is where you are, but it's probably early morning, I would imagine.
It is. Yeah, we're at 5:30 a.m. I'm an early riser. I'm always up at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
I love it.
I get up at 5, so I'm in the same club. So we're at it. But
yes.
I will catch you on our calls on our group, no doubt, next few weeks. But absolute pleasure, and thank you very, very much. I'm sure the listeners have been blown away with those tips. And whatever you do, take them on board and put them in action.
Yes.
Take them on board and put them in action. So thank you very much, Mark.
100%, Lee Ryan. Thank you.
Yes, bye.